Corruption and Economic Crimes Act number 3 of 2003, and I read it as such. In these circumstances, considering the mitigation, this is the sentence for all the accused persons. You can rise up for your sentence. Under count 3, the first accused person, Moses Lenolkulal, now convicted of a charge of conflict of interest, contract provision of section 42(3), as read with section 48(1) of ASECA. I hereby sentence you under provision of section 48(1)(a) of the Act to pay a fine of 1 million. In default, you serve 4 years imprisonment. That's for count number 3. For count number 3, I'm not imposing any mandatory sentence. For count number 4, first accused person, Moses Lenolkulal, and the 11th accused person, Esbon Jack Washira Ndadi, jointly convicted on a charge of unlawful acquisition of public property, contrary to section 45(1)(a), as read with section 48(1) of ASECA. I hereby sentence you as follows. 1. Under section 48(1)(a) of ASECA, each one of you to pay a fine of 1 million. In default, to serve 4 years imprisonment. That's the first limb. Under section 1B, as read with section 2(a) of ASECA, first accused person, you shall then pay a mandatory fine in the sum of 83,460,995. That sum is equivalent to twice the benefit after apportioning the public funds unlawfully acquired between yourself and the 11th accused person. So that's the sentence for the governor, Lenolnkulal. You can sit down, Lenolnkulal. That's your sentence. Under section 48(1)(b), as read section 48(2)(a) of ASECA, the 11th accused person, Esbon Ndadi, you shall also pay a fine of 83,460,995, equivalent to twice the benefit after dividing or apportioning that the public funds unlawfully acquired between you and the first accused person. So you also pay that. So that's the sentence for the 11th accused person. You can sit down. For the second accused person, Stephen Siringa Letinina, convicted on a charge of abuse of office contrary to section 46 as read with section 48(1) of ASECA. This court will sentence you only under provision of section 48(1)(a) of the Act. You pay a fine of 1 million and in default to serve 4 years imprisonment. I've considered your position. You are the county secretary. That's a very powerful position. You should have done better, and even to disclose to your own colleagues and guide them on matters of the law. So you pay 1 million in default, 4 years imprisonment. I've not considered what any mandatory fine for you. So you can sit down, 1 million or 4 years imprisonment. The category of the other accused persons, Daniel Nakuo Lokirina, convicted on a charge of abuse of office contrary to section 46 as read with 48(1) of ASECA. I'll sentence you only under provision of section 48(1)(a) of that Act. That is, you pay a fine of 700,000 in default. You also serve 4 years imprisonment. I've also not imposed any mandatory fine on you. So you pay 700,000 or 4 years imprisonment. You can sit down. The fourth accused person, Josephine Naamo Lenasalia, also convicted on a charge of abuse of office contrary to provision section 46 as read with 48 of ASECA. I hereby sentence you under section 48(1)(a) of the Act to pay a fine of 700,000 in default. You serve 4 years imprisonment. I have also not imposed any mandatory fine on you. You can sit down just when you pay 700,000. Fifth accused person, Ruben Maruben Lemunyete. Lemunyete, you can also sit down. You don't need to rise up. Sit down because you are unwell. I've also sentenced you I'll also sentence you for a charge of abuse of office, contrary to provision of Section 46, as read with Section 48 of our SECA. Under provision of Section 48(1)(a) of the Act, to pay a fine of 700,000 in deferred to serve 4 years imprisonment. I have also not imposed on you any mandatory fine. The sixth accused person, Linus Milton Longenje. Who is Milton Longenje? Who is Milton? Milton is convicted on a charge of abuse of office. I will proceed to sentence you under provision of Section 48(1)(a) of the Act to pay a fine of 700,000 in default 4 years imprisonment. I will not impose any mandatory sentence on you. You can sit down, Milton. The seventh accused person, Paul, convicted on a charge of abuse of office under provision of Section 46, as read with Section 48 of ASECA. I'll proceed to sentence you under provision of Section 48(1)(a) of the Act. You pay a fine of 700,000 in deferred to serve 4 years imprisonment. You can sit down, Paul. The eighth accused person, Bernard Lesurmat Latarasi, convicted on a charge of abuse of office, contrary to provision of Section 46, as read with Section 48 of ASECA. I hereby sentence you under provision of Section 48(1)(a) of the Act to pay a fine of 700,000 in deferred to serve 4 years imprisonment. I have not imposed any mandatory sentence on you. You can sit down, Bernard. Ninth accused person, Lilian Balanga, convicted on a charge of abuse of office, contrary to provision of Section 46, as read to Section 48 of ASECA. I hereby sentence you under provision of Section 48(1)(a) of the Act. You pay a fine of 700,000 and in default you serve 4 years imprisonment. I have not imposed any mandatory fine on you, Balanga. The sentence in respect of the first accused person and the 11th accused person, that's the governor and Ndadi, shall run consecutively, effective from the date of the judgment, which is 28th of August 2024. I promised yesterday that I'm also going to count in the 1 day that you are in custody, so I've also considered that. So for that sentence, you pay the entire amount or you serve the entire period for the two of you. In addition to that sentence and pursuant to the provision of Section 64 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act number 3 of 2003, accused person, you are hereby disqualified from being elected or appointed to any public office for a period of 10 years from the date of this particular judgment. That's for the sentence. I'll now proceed to make the following further orders. The surety for the accused person are hereby discharged, and any security deposited in court shall be released forthwith. Also, any cash bail deposited in court shall be released to the depositor. Accused person's passports deposited in court shall also be released forthwith. I'll order that accused persons, you have 14 days right of appeal. It's your right against the judgment and sentence by this court. We shall issue certified copies of the judgment and the ruling on sentence to all the parties subject to payment of the court charges, where the same will be applied. So that marks the end of the court sentence. I just need to correct a few things, then I'll also be willing to release the sentence for you in a very short while. Any clarification from any of the accused persons or any counsel?